Alright, and now well, that's one way to start a recording. Thanks, Shadowmancer. What do I even do after that? Let's just go into the game. So when I last left off, I saw, I think it was called Leechmonger, and then just said no, turned around, went home. I think I'm actually going to try and fight it this time. I'm going to try and hang in there longer, get a better feel for what it's doing, and then see if I can't kill it. Yep, I did the Monster Hunter thing again. Just tried clicking in the stick to run. Not like that in this game. Wait, let me see equipment like right now. I'm not sure that I like only having 24 arrows. Maybe what I'll do is do some light soul grinding to get my arrow count up, and then go after the Leechmonger. Start from the Tower Knight Stone. Sorry, if I sound a little out of it, I was at the state fair with my girlfriend yesterday. So, we were, like, seconds into entering the fairgrounds, we were drunk on the smell of funnel cakes and corn dogs, elephant ears, and all these different places just saying, grilled, insert food here. Hey, easy 400 soul. They've played Shin Megami Tensei Liberation DX2. No, I have not. I don't think I've actually played any game that just says Shin Megami Tensei in it. Actually, did the first Persona have that as part of its name and subtitle? That might count. Might actually be more efficient for soul farming if I need it, because start off right behind everybody and can just sneak up on them. Phone game that came out 3 days ago, huh? And I assume it came out outside of Japan if we're asking about this. I don't really know much about Shin Megami Tensei in particular, but I've always kind of wanted to get into it. I suppose you could say the same thing about Souls games, and here we are now. I actually don't play very many phone games, and big reason for that is the phone that I have does not have a lot of space on it. I mean, I can fit Pokemon Go on it now, but Pokemon Go has gone down in file size since it initially launched. It was originally close to 400 megabytes on my phone, and now it's down to about 200. So they're a little more efficient with space on that. Let's see, if I may have to do this again, just to make sure I have a decent amount of arrows. Okay, where's my level standing?
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn.
Technically, if I did that 4 times, I could level up a stat, but I don't want to do that. I don't think anyone wants to watch that.
Duke.
Hey, that's better. For some reason I thought arrows cost 50 soul each. But no, it was not even half of that. That's the free-to-play stuff like most phone games. Does it have your character getting strangled unless you pay to keep playing the game? I realize that's kind of old at this point, but... No. Okay, good. So it's like a more tolerable free-to-play game where you can still progress at a decent rate without buying a bunch of shit. Those I'm okay with. Not yet. Oh, okay. But if I become a little less talkative through here, just trying not to get myself killed. Goodbye. I have this part pretty much down. It's everything beyond here that I'm worried about. Oh, one thing that I did see at the State Fair was they had this marketplace of sorts where like mom and pop dealers can just set up shop and sell shit. And there was someone there who was selling various action figures, model cars, and video games. Of course, I wound up perusing through that. I came out with a an old figure of the Iron Sheik. It was currently on my shelf, watching over me right now. And a couple other things. There was a race car there that just had Nintendo across the spoiler on the back of it. I'm not sure what it's from, but didn't even pay $1 for it, so I just went for it. Did it have Battletoads? I don't think it did. When I say video games, it was... Okay, so there were some from different consoles, but it was like maybe 10 at most per console. They had 4 NES games, none of which were Battletoads. They had, I think, 10 PlayStation games. They had a couple of old Jalico games, which kind of surprised me. And then they had this bin of, not Tiger Electronics, but in that same vein of really old, handheld, play a single game on this kind of thing. One of which, of course, was video poker. There's actually one there that I don't know what the game was, but it was shaped like a Dreamcast controller. That kind of caught me off guard. Oh, and of course I saw that wireless 40-in-1 console thing, and it was another one of those Wii knockoff consoles, and the controller looked exactly like the ones for the Lexabook. So part of me was going, do I buy this and see if some of the same games are on it? But then my conscience intervened and said, absolutely not. Well, this guy's having a good time. Oh, actually, something else I found there was a figure of the Tyrant from the first Resident Evil. So for a brief moment, there was a time where Iron Sheik was cussing out the Tyrant. In my head, of course. Alright. Forgot about this section. Just managed to get it. Well, goodbye. Was the Gravitron there? No, it was not. Nothing else that... Oh, right. Another thing I got. They had a bunch of old VHSs there. And some of them were relevant to my interests. And some of them I just didn't realize existed. But long story short, I walked out of there with a VHS copy of the Battle Reno Toshinden movie. Haven't watched it yet. Plan to. Oh boy, indeed. Now, just based on what the movie's subject matter is, I have low expectations. So, I'm not expecting anything particularly good from it. I mean, Battle Reno Toshinden was already kind of goofy. Is this... Can't remember if it's time for the Rat Pack or not. Nope, this is haystack time. All of them? Okay, good. Now, there were some other things there I was tempted by, but I ultimately didn't go for. Actually, one person had an old animation cell of Egon from the Ghostbusters cartoon. I think it was from the 90s. But as you might guess, it was really expensive. So couldn't end up going for that. Yeah. I'm just trying to play that safe because I think I got poisoned by that one time. Hey, I don't think I had any of those yet. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to buy much. In fact, can't buy anything.
Curses, are we to that wit?
Is this... Yeah, this is the rat pack. I want to change weapons. I like the scimitar, but it primarily has a bunch of horizontal slashes, which is not good for fighting these things. Okay. That was relatively painless. Damn it. Do I just try waiting this out? I do have a ton of healing items. Okay, it looks like waiting this out is not necessarily an option. Yep, we're back on this strategy again. Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize he could reach up through the floor with a club. This is part of the reason that I was loading up on arrows. Later. Okay. Oh, thanks for even more bit, Shadowmancer. Where did... Oh god, probably at the top. Nope. Nope. There you are. I was nervous about rocks falling here for some reason. So a lot of baddies in a narrow space. Can't target that guy because he's behind the wall. What are you doing? How is my soul scroll going along? I've defeated a few demons. And which games have I played so far? I'm going in order. So this is the only Souls game I've played. Damn it. Could have been worse, I suppose. Ah, jeez, these things again. My favorite creepypasta. I'm gonna need a moment to think about that one. 'Cause there were some that I initially liked, and then as years went on, they just aged terribly. Like, I initially liked the disappearance of Ashley, Kansas. But the more I go back and read it, the more some things just do not read well. I'm switching back to the axe as more of a downstroke. Ah, damn it. At least I'm prepared for that. What are you doing in that corner? Respect the dead, damn it. Sorry, I'm not answering your question at all. Favorite creepypasta? Oh no. No, 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 no. No, thank you. No, I guess I'm still a fan of the original Candle Cove. Granted, I can't see it in the same light because it got the case of sequelitis, and it really ruined a lot of the original things that it had going for it. If they decided to explain way too much of it with a bunch of old horror tropes that really didn't fit well with it. I think I'm getting close. I hope I'm getting close. Yeah. Alright, we're back to this point. There was one other creepypasta I liked, but I can't remember the name of it. Oh geez, my stream just dropped. Hold on, I'm gonna stop the stream. Okay. This is quite annoying. And now OBS is throwing a shit fit. Is everything else disconnected? No. Hello? 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 Are we back? I think it says we're back. Okay, good. I'm not sure what happened. OBS just disconnected and locked up. Thankfully I noticed that before going through the fog. Gonna make that the half moon grass and then put late moon grass here. Okay. I do realize that a lot of the Channel Code sequels are fan-made. That still doesn't help. Did not realize where I am right now. Oh shit, there goes my cover. Well. Did I get it? I got it. Oh. Okay. Whew. I was really nervous about that. Like, the moment I saw that it was regenerating its health, I thought, oh shit. I may have just made a big mistake. See, I'm used to being really cautious, staying back, observing attack patterns. I'm a Monster Hunter player, it's what I do. Yeah. Bat rolls forever. Trying to be thorough. Okay, now that I have the chance, I'm definitely going back to the Nexus. So I can drop off that soul and maybe get some stat boosts. Yeah, I figured with a name like Leechmonger it was going to do something like that. And why are you standing up? Deposit this. Because I know if I just leave it in my inventory, I'm going to use it by accident. Oh great, I have 2 of these. I'm not sure when I got that slave shield. Robe can go. Gloves can go. Can go.
You have a heart.
Thou seekest soul power, dost thou not? Then touch the demon inside me. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether.
Now to deal with diminishing returns.
Drawn from its vessel.
Part of me wants to keep
Let
boosting
strength
strength
be
because
granted
then
so
I'll
the
be able
world
to
might be
use more
mended.
equipment more efficiently.
So the world
But
might be
I
mended.
can't just only focus on that at the expense of everything else. Plague resistance, that might have been helpful 5 minutes ago. It's on me. Looks like a baseball bat with nails. Actually, yeah. I mean, baseball bats with nails can be very effective. Been neglecting dexterity a bit, but not nearly as much as intelligence and magic. I always agonize over this. Not just in Souls games, but in every game. I really overthink my character's statistics. like Final Fantasy Adventure, I would just spend minutes trying to decide which one of 4 stats to boost. This is even worse, because it's got twice as many. Oh, that's a question. Does this have a katana? You know what does have a katana? Escape from Bug Island. Granted, you gotta get A rank to get it, and getting A rank in that game sucks. Actually, just take the part where I said, that game sucks, and we'll leave it at that. What build am I going for? That's a very good question. Well, my class is Hunter. So, whatever is derived from that. I can tell you now, I got into this knowing pretty much nothing about Souls.
Thou then touch.
I mean, I watched an any percent speed run of Dark Souls once, but so much of the game gets skipped over that I just took absolutely nothing away from it. Quality build is strength plus dexterity. I suppose I should up my dexterity a bit then.
Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength
Actually,
be
I do get a
granted so
slight
the
attack
world
boost
might
if I
be
go for
mended.
dexterity. You know what,
So
screw
the
it.
world might be mended.
There are stones to convert weapons to quality. I think I actually have some of those.
Out main.
I can
I think I would have to roll back some of these to be able to go into quality. Also, I'm a little low on souls now, so... Actually... I'm still trying to figure out how often I should repair my equipment. Usually I just do it whenever I'm in the Nexus. I'm a little neglectful of my bow. Now I need the hard stone. Wait a minute. I could get hard stones from the phalanx blobs. Think. Pretty sure I was getting... Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's where I was getting them from. Use Demon Souls Wikidot. I'm trying not to use any wikis or anything for this. I'm just trying to go in it and learn as I go. I have the feeling I may have passed the quality upgrade point for some of my weapons. If I have, then in theory I could just buy another and then start the upgrade process over. Of course they aren't dropping anything now. I remember one time I went through here and all but one of the enemies dropped something. Now it seems like the exact opposite is going to happen. Or maybe none of them will drop anything. Hey, he took pity on me. Two one is the best low level. Okay, what is 2-1 in Demon Souls terms? I have no idea what these numbers mean. Wait, is that the area of the Burrow King? Is that even a Demon Souls thing? I'm probably screwing all of these names up. I'm sorry. Oh, I should get the cursor off of... Yeah, let me just get these out of my inventory, because I know I'm going to use one by accident. I'm gonna head back to the Nexus and see if I even have access to Stone Fang. Can't remember. I assume 2 would be second stone. It is the Burrow King. Oh, it's the first one. Okay. I don't remember getting a lot of stones here, but then again, a lot of this is kind of a blur to me. I don't think I was paying much attention to stones at the time, but I guess it makes sense that the best place to get various minerals would be the place where everybody's mining. I think the reason I kept going to the other place was that... Sorry, my brain just slowed down for a moment. Was that I was also getting an okay amount of souls out of it too. Thanks, Cog Whistle, for the follow. Tempted to try running into the corner and see if I can get one of these guys to kill the other again. Give it a shot. Ah. They're no fun today. They just stopped throwing. Okay, maybe you could... Didn't know I had... Oh shit, I'm not paying... I looked away for 1 second. Yeah, I had 2-2 unlocked a while ago, after a lengthy go with the armor spider. And then I think I beat the armor spider, tried progressing a little bit, saw explosions, and said, I'll try somewhere else. Now I realize I'm eventually going to get to a point where I will see just all kinds of things I don't want to do and not want to progress anywhere. Look for the ones carrying bags? Honestly, it's so dark I can't even tell who has a bag or not. No bags? No carry-ons? Just near a bag, not holding a bag. Maybe you could confirm something for me. Is it the ones that have glowing eyes that'll attack if you get near them? Or does that pertain to just specific units in general, and the eyes have nothing to do with it? I can see you right there. You're not fooling me. I think the axe might be better in an area like this. Scimitar has a very wide swing, whereas the axe is a little more vertical. The axe are aggressive, but if you attack one, they'll all attack. Okay, I did notice that one time when I just started hitting anything that moved. Weak to piercing damage. Oh, of course. One of the weapon types that I haven't been working up is their weakness. Like D&D, when you get to like zombies or skeletons and all you have are piercing weapons. You need something blunt. See that guy on the other side of the bridge. I remember this being a pain in the ass the first time I went through it. Granted, I'm probably doing everything wrong, but still. Oh, right. There was that bridge that was falling apart. But was any more effective now? Sucks. Hey! I think I like this bow better because I can fire a little faster with it. I will always take one of those. There are 4 miners with bags in this area. Okay, I'll have to be on the lookout for those. Oh, drop there? Oh, so I can be on this level above where I was before? Specifically where those miners are. Alright. I'm gonna do this without breaking my ass. Good enough. Oh, that's the bag. I see. I am gonna go back for it. I'm not just deliberately ignoring them. No bags here. By the way, Mad Sniper, do appreciate the little tips here and there, so thanks. I'll have to check my inventory later for that. Okay, we got another bag boy. Oh, well, that's a fair amount of clear stone. Wait a minute. What did I get before? Oh, that's a healthy amount of hardstone. And some sharpstone. I can't remember how much of that actually came from that drop, but still. That is a fair amount of stone. And this one has a very pointy bag. Oh, wait. Whoa, I didn't even attack you yet. Word spreads fast here, I guess. Thank you, Full Metal Animist? Animeist? One of those two. See what you're going for, I'm just not sure how to pronounce it. Alright, sharp stones. That was 3 on my count. Gonna have to climb back up. Oops. No bags? Bags? Bags. Bag. Can't let myself get surrounded here. Didn't have to be this way. Could have just let me get the one guy. Okay, I am definitely farming here from now on. That is a substantial amount of shards. Well, I do think that if I'm farming souls in particular, I'm still gonna go somewhere else. These little bastards. Like I'm trying to regain my lost memories, just remembering where everything is in this area. Oh, near the lift? I forgot about the lift. I could have just used that to progress further. Oops. What happens when I don't play this area for too long? I may have already gotten those. I can't remember what I did on my first time through here. Yeah, none of these guys are carrying bags. Oh well. Oh, the other lift near the blacksmith. Hmm. I feel like I may have gotten those too, but I might as well take the time to check. Assuming I don't die from falling off of this again. Which level? I should have asked that first. Or is there only one level, and I'm just confusing myself? Oh yeah, I see the bag. And I see the other bag. I am cornered. You know what? It worked out. That is a lot of hard stone. Actually tempted to keep going through here because there were some things I deliberately skipped over. Since I was obviously a lower character at that time, so maybe now with better stats I'll have a chance to get through all of this. I originally went back over the first area I was in. I found an area that I would just completely, let me know my own words, completely neglected. It was where you rescue the one guy who keeps talking about his father. Can't remember what his name is. Damn it. Oh, up on the walls. Yep, they're definitely down there. What I'm waiting for is there to be one on the ceiling ready to drop on my head. Of course. I may have already explored that room. I'm gonna take stock of what I've missed. Well, there was one part where there were a bunch of units on a bridge that I just had to bypass. I think I might have been earlier in the level though. Oh, and this is Magic Mike and the Exploding Barrels. I think this is just the bridge leading up to the armor spider's lair. I'm gonna backtrack. If I can make my way through the barrels. I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was going to be stuck on the Leechmonger fight a lot longer. I think just my experience with the armor spider fight kinda gave me an impression of what I thought every fight in this game was going to end up like. That took me a while. Okay, now I know where I am. I do not trust my safe fall ability. Okay, only two. Actually, I'm going to check in with the blacksmith, see if he has anything I could potentially use. And more bad guys in 2-2. I'm just going to go with what I have now. feels weird actually being human in this game for longer than 10 minutes.
If it be a blacksmith,
Kind of tempting to start upgrading the spear. What's the difference between the upgrade rate for regular winged spear into quality versus going straight for sharp winged spear? I think for now I'm going to keep upgrading my bow. Oh, now I got options. Do I get my first quality weapon? I mean, it'll drop the stats back down, but I assume that later you can build that back up. Excuse me, grabbing some water. It is too hot today. Quality goes up to +5. Right? Maybe the regular ones go up to +5 as well. I guess I'm a little unclear on what adding the word quality adds to the weapon. Does it mean that as you upgrade it, you'll eventually be able to surpass just the regular upgrades? Oh wait, I see math bonuses over there. Changes strength and dexterity scaling to... Not sure what CC is. This is what I said before about agonizing over everything. Okay, I think I see it now. might as well get this up to quality. And I could go for +2. Okay. I think I'm starting to get it now. So that's a DD, which was better than the scaling that I had for the original type of weapon. Helps me in the long run.
If it be a... All done?
Everything's in working order. I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, what time is it? I only have a little bit more time.
I can...
Should I make the investment to get another battle axe so that I can get it back to... Actually, hold on. What would be better? Just melting my weapons down to their base and then building them back up to quality? Okay, I got you now. Mad Sniper, that is a very helpful explanation. Thank you for that. I think I will just start melting down some of these weapons to their original form and then building them up to the quality end. Okay, clear stone. I can worry about that later. And you know what? I have been quite neglectful of this. I assume the spear counts as... Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to all the different symbols in this game, but I assume the spear counts as piercing damage. Between the scimitar and either the spear or the breaker, I'd have 3 types of damage covered. Oh, and the shield, I guess. Okay, good. They did change that in the other Soulsborne games. Alright. That'll make them a little easier for me to understand. I am back.
Do come.
Hello again.
Alright. Inventory is clear. I think I'm going to have to stop here for today. I have other commitments I gotta get to later. Get the hair comb back and talk to the storage guy. Is there a reason for that?
Hello again. I'm
What am I
keeping
saying? I assume there is if you're telling me that.
You have. Hello again. I'm keep. When the scourge came, I abandoned my wife and daughter and fled like a madman. I wish I could do more, but I am ignorant of the world beyond these walls. Saints, sages, and all manner of wise men watch over the halls of this nexus. This rejuvenating sanctorium is a fine place for the slayers of demons to rest their weary bones. I too must contribute how I can, for we are indebted to our honorable defenders. I too must contribute how I can, for we are indebted to our honorable defenders. I too must contribute how I can, for we are indebted.
Now, do I have to equip it or something? Can I equip it? Or is it just something you have to have in your inventory?
That hairpin, that belongs to my daughter. Then she didn't make it after all. My dearest little baby. May she rest in peace. May I ask you a favor? Would you mind giving up that hairpin? I'd like to have it in memory of my daughter.
Oh. Weird, I had it in my inventory before, and that didn't happen.
You're a saint. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I mustn't forget. It's not much, but please accept this as thanks. I'm a bit ashamed to say, but I found it one day, discarded on the main road. But it seems to possess a strange power. Anyway, I feel that you should have it. It will be happier in your hands.
Oh, okay. The name alone has me intrigued. That is quite useful. Alright, fair. That's fair. Although, really, I... Thanks again for pointing that out. Do have to get going for today. Actual tangible progress was made, sort of. I will be back on this next week. I'm going to try and stream a couple other times during the week, aside from my usual Monster Hunter on Mondays. But thanks for watching, guys, and thanks guys in the chat for pointing things out for me. I'll see you later.